Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special and exciting Avalon Waterways webinar. First and foremost, I hope you're staying safe and well, and I really appreciate your time today. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLEA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 30 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLEA's YouTube channel, which is CLEA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Corey McGillivray. Corey, who is Channel Marketing Manager for the Globus family of brands, started his career in travel at ASTA, where he was in charge of supplier memberships. Getting a taste for the industry, he moved to vacation.com as an inside sales manager, where he led internal efforts for membership sales and renewals. Moving to Colorado in 2013, Corey started with Globus as a training specialist and has spent the last 7 years servicing all marketing and training needs for our industry partners, and is incredibly excited to be joining us today. And with that, take it away, Corey.
Thank you so much, Anna, and welcome to all of our advisor partners on the line. As Anna mentioned, my name is Corey McGillivray, and I'm the manager of channel marketing here at the Globus family of brands, and obviously Avalon Waterways, where one of my responsibilities, and if I'm being perfectly honest, is a favorite part of my job. I get to work with your advisor partners to kind of bring you that training, that education you need to sell more of the Globus family. Now, I do just want to take a quick second to start today's presentation with a quick note of appreciation to you, our advisor partners. You know, there's no doubt that these recent events have changed the travel industry. But for the first time in a long time, you know, those of us here at the Globus family, we found some time to really stop and kind of find some gratitude. And among those things we are grateful for is absolutely you. You are truly the backbone and the heart of the travel industry. You care for, you protect your clients, you're there for good times, and as we've certainly learned over the last 3 months, the bad times. So for that, on behalf of the entire Globus family, and in particular today, Avalon Waterways, I do just want to personally say thank you to each and every one of you. Now, of course, you didn't just come here to hear all about me chatting to you guys, but I am so excited that you've joined us today to kind of get a glimpse into what Avalon will offer your clients in 2021 and beyond. You know, Avalon is a different kind of river cruise experience. We're known for those kind of one-of-a-kind takes on views, both in your client's stateroom and really throughout the ship. And in 21, you'll see that our view on cruise possibilities on board and on shore will expand to a whole new world. And most importantly, we're going to talk about some changes to our onboard protocols and enhancements to make sure that we are making your clients feel safe, happy, and healthy on each and every Avalon Waterways cruise. But since I want to try to keep this relatively short, let's go ahead and let's get started. You know, over the last 10 years, river cruising has grown and kind of made waves in the travel industry, and it proves that when it comes to bodies of water, ships, and cities, bigger isn't always better. You know, Avalon Waterways has led the way with our spacious, innovative, and award-winning suite ships. Our travelers enjoy really a more intimate experience with an appealing crew-to-passenger ratio, personalized attention, and really kind of a seamless dock-and-go sightseeing at the most welcoming of ports. When you combine the highest health standards and environmentally conscious practice in the industry, you know, Avalon Waterways River Cruise gives travelers peace of mind throughout their vacation. So really in today's presentation, we're going to cover kind of 3 primary areas. We're going to do a quick review of the Avalon value. We're going to talk a little bit about how we are different from ocean cruising, and we're going to talk about what we're doing on board to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience for your clients. But first, an exciting update to give you and your clients a bit more flexibility. So we launched this last Tuesday because we understand that when the world is ready, we're going to kind of be ready to deliver the world to your clients. But most importantly, we're going to do it risk-free, hassle-free, worry-free, and strings-free, thanks to our new 2021 Peace of Mind travel plan. This complimentary plan will be attached to all 2021 vacation bookings, which really give travelers the flexibility to move vacations to any other 2021 or 2022 date, destination, itinerary, or they can even choose another brand within the Globus family of brands portfolio. No penalties, no problem, as long as the booking is moved before final payment date. So we hope with this Peace of Mind travel plan, we're helping you ensure the money that your clients have invested with you is yours and your travelers to take them exactly where they want to go when they are finally ready to travel. So I know that's a little bit of detail for it. So if anyone has any questions about particulars, I know Anna is going to share some questions at the end, but you can always reach out to me at webtraining@globusfamily.com. So let's talk a little bit about what Avalon can offer. With us, your clients, they can embark with Avalon on their choice of over 80 cruises on 10 different rivers through 20 different countries in Europe, Asia, South America, and Egypt. They can discover the European continent on its legendary rivers from the North Sea to the Black Sea, kind of from the English Channel all the way to the Med. They'll discover timeless tradition and beauty on the Rhine, the Danube, the Rhone, and then just to name a few. They can explore South America with a cruise on the Amazon, an expedition to the Galapagos. They can discover ancient traditions on the Mekong in Southeast Asia, the sacred Ganges in India, or the mysterious Nile in Egypt. At the end of the day, they're going to cruise their way, though, with countless combinations of land vacations before or even after their cruise. But why is Avalon different? Well, it's because we truly reinvented river cruise ships. There is no other fleet of river cruise ships that offers your clients a view of the world like Avalon Suite Ships, which of course feature our Panorama Suites. They're 30% larger than the industry standard, and they create river cruising's only open-air balcony, with nothing between your clients and the view. It's kind of like we've mastered that art of blending luxury and comfort, and now we blur that line between what is truly outside and in. Other river cruise cabins, they're designed a bit differently. Their beds, they face against the wall for a view of kind of another wall. But our Comfort Collection beds, they actually face the view with the widest opening, wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling panoramic windows and river cruising. It's almost easier to think of it as a view kind of with the room. And I could never go on without giving a little bit of a birthday shout out to our Panorama Suites, who in 2021 will turn 10 years old. Now, I really think this is important for a couple different reasons. To have an award-winning stateroom design, which you'll see on my next slide, to be a consistent design for your clients, to have nearly 81% of our staterooms fleet-wide be these suites, it's amazing to see its growth, and that after 10 years, we hit the nail on the head perfectly when we reintroduced these suites. It really focuses on what river cruising is famous for and still affords your client an amazing outdoor experience as well. So I really kind of like the heading on this slide. We prefer cruise complement, because that's kind of the way we take it at Avalon. It's in complement of the service, the onboard product, our stateroom design, and it's something that we truly are very proud to recognize as Cruise Critics Best Cabins in River Cruising for 4 years running. Now, one of the things that I do think is often pretty important that can be missed with our Panorama Suites is really by making them larger, it means less people on board. So keep that in mind as we kind of go through this presentation a bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about onboard capacity. But just by having our amazing award-winning stateroom design, we ensure that your clients are going to have more space and less people on board. But our promise, it really does kind of go beyond just that, kind of that hard product offering. We don't just reserve the warmth and comfort for your client's room on an Avalon River Cruise. We kind of carry that welcoming spirit throughout the entire ship and even onto shore. From the captain to the cruise director to stateroom attendants and wait staff, we capitalize on the belief of exquisite service that's professional, courteous, and informative. Our approach is never going to come off as stuffy, but it does kind of create that atmosphere of relaxed luxury. It's like take our casual and comfortable dress code that's defined only by what your clients feel like wearing. After all, their comfort is going to be a top priority for us on and off the ship. Combine that with the local guides who are there to greet them at every port with engaging tales that really kind of bring them closer to this destination. So whether they're on board or on shore, we take special care to ensure that they are perfectly taken care of each and every step of the way. Now, here's where I kind of want to take a bit of a pause to set the stage. While we agree that ocean cruising is an amazing way to travel, I myself have been on over 20 different ocean cruises on some of our land brands. We even partner with our cruising brothers and sisters. But there are some differences between the product that I would like to cover, especially for some of you that may be either a bit new to rivers or selling river, or who are looking to just have another kind of product in your portfolio. River cruise vessels, they're built differently. You know, they're built to kind of meander through rivers, to port in storybook settings, to sail under bridges, squeeze between locks. You know, our floating kind of boutique hotel, it holds on average of 150 guests, although some are even smaller. Our suite ships on the Mekong, for instance, have just 18 staterooms accommodating 36 cruisers. And while passenger numbers are low, our onboard crew to ratio is high. In fact, on every ship, the average guest to crew ratio is 3-to-1, which means travelers have crew members easily and happily catering to their needs each and every moment of the day. And unlike ocean cruises where, you know, they offer guests a plethora of large-scale onboard entertainment, whether it's Broadway shows, Cirque du Soleil. I mean, some of the entertainment on these ships, it rivals Vegas, it rivals Broadway. They cater to hundreds or thousands of guests with that kind of entertainment. River cruises aren't really built that way. Instead, river cruise itineraries, they're destination focused. It's all about local guides who help travelers experience and connect with the world around them. You know, most river cruise itineraries also sail off the beaten path. So they tend to visit small fairy tale villages, village squares, family-owned wineries, bakeries, restaurants. And because of that, because of our onshore experience, because of the lower numbers, queues are not really there on world's rivers. So Avalon Waterways excursions, they typically accommodate smaller groups of guests at a time and provide every traveler an immersive and an authentic experience. And on a river cruise, I think this is a little more obvious. Travelers aren't at sea, so they don't get seasick. There tends to be less cabin fever. You know, instead, river cruises, they wind and they bend through the heart of fascinating countries, providing a panoramic view of the old world. They're always within a few feet from shore. And on a river vessel, travelers pass clifftop castles, hillside vineyards, ancient villages, and capital cities. To be honest, the daytime sailing on the rivers is some of my favorite part of the river cruise experience. So every day and night, travelers have quick and easy access to ports of call, local hosts, immersive experiences, and even in today's world, something that is seemingly more important, access to health and medical professionals if needed. So I want to go ahead and use this slide to again, kind of reiterate just some key differences between ocean and river cruising. Again, the ocean cruising in itself is a fantastic way to travel. This is really just in an effort to help you understand some of the key differences really when we look at just size and the amount of people on a ship. So of course you can see the average passenger count of a river cruise vessel versus big ship cruising. You can see there kind of the overall sheer size. With river cruising, you do see a better crew to passenger ratio, again, really just due to kind of the volume that our ocean brothers and sisters operate with. Deck space, this I think is pretty important because one of the things I mentioned a little bit earlier is that Avalon Waterways Panorama Suites are 30% larger than the industry standard. So what does that really mean? Well, for those of you that are new to river cruising, all river cruise ships in Europe have to be built to the same length and width specifications. So if you can only build a ship so long and you can only build a ship so wide, obviously if you make your staterooms larger, that means there's more onboard space because there's fewer passengers. We're all built to the same size restriction, so by having less staterooms because they're bigger, we give your clients an even better onboard experience. You know, the safety, the health, and the well-being of our guests and crew, it really is a top priority here at Avalon. We take the idea of leave a little sparkle wherever you go to a whole new level. Now, I do like to think that testimonials speak strongly because I can sit here and tell you all sorts of positive things about how clean our ships are. But just a few different kind of pieces of feedback we received from consumers over the last year. The ship was immaculately clean. The food and wine were outstanding. The ship was small enough that everyone could fit into the dining room comfortably all at once. Another cruiser says, it amazed me that they had a person on our boat that apparently did nothing but clean down the steps, up and down on the inside entry to the boat. Stair rails have never been as clean, steps spotlessly cleaned all the day. Now, these are pieces of feedback before we stepped back, looked at the new landscape of the world and said, what do we need to do on board to make your clients feel better? So if we had these high levels of standard before this new world that we're living in, hopefully as we go through some of the new things, you can rest assured that truly when your clients travel with Avalon Waterways, they are on the cleanest and safest ships in all of river cruising. So again, here are a couple things that we were already doing on board, because again, the safety and health of your clients has always been a concern to us. So naturally, we've had sanitizer stations throughout every single ship where guests and crew must use them throughout the day, including entering and exiting the ship and food areas. And of course, no crew member has ever been permitted to work if they are sick. We've always held a pretty strong, rigorous cleaning routine. There are several regulations throughout Europe, and obviously we hold to U.S. standards as well on how cleaning products can be stored, how they can be mixed, what minimum thresholds they need to meet. Of course, all of this is already done with Avalon. Between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., we have housekeeping staff on duty to maintain each ship, and 2 times a day your client's stateroom are cleaned and checked. If you guys really want to dive into some of the enhanced cleaning procedures we have, a lot of the content that I'm presenting today is available on our Travel Advisor portal. I can certainly share that link with you when available, but there's also a great guide built for you to leverage with your clients as well. So when those questions come up about cleaning materials and detergents and what Avalon Waterways is doing to keep their safety in mind, you have an amazing piece, all the information you need at your fingertips. And of course, strict food supply, storage, and preparation standards. We kind of go through 6 key steps for our food procurement and preparation. And again, these are things we were doing prior to changes you'll see in just a minute. With goods reception, we do have strict quality control and evaluation measures, including documentation of each and every ship from when we receive from vendors before they are placed on our ships. Food storage guidelines are in place to prevent any cross-contamination, which means we even use color-coded cutting boards for different types of food and in recognition of different food allergies. Food temperature and preparation, I think, are obviously some very important steps that you're maintaining the food at a proper temperature and you're cooking at a proper temperature, all things that Avalon Waterways ensures. When cooking, chefs, kitchen staff, serving staff, they all maintain incredibly diligent hygiene standards. Hand washing, disinfecting, use of disposable towels and gloves is required, and apparel if it takes a bit more. And serving. Dishwashing equipment is obviously cleaned after every use. All surfaces are cleaned between each meal service and all tableware is thoroughly sanitized. And of course, what you don't see behind the doors is strict kitchen and dining area cleanliness that are spotless. I actually had an opportunity to take a galley tour a few years back, and I thought we had just taken new delivery of the ship, when in reality they had just cleaned after breakfast. So we rest assured that while we've always had these standards, we are going to be taking a few extra steps to ensure your clients feel safe. Because as I've mentioned, and as I've probably said a few times, today's world has changed. But what remains certain is our commitment to guest safety, comfort, and peace of mind. So to that end, we've kind of established a set of enhanced onboard protocols and procedures through a new Avalon Assurance program that ensures the health and happiness of our guests throughout their cruise with us. And it all starts with a dedicated global health and safety team, which is really there to ensure the cleanliness of all operations not only meets, but exceeds today's travel standards from start to finish. So the following are just a few different areas addressed by Avalon as our commitment to be as clean as possible for guests. And it starts with the welcome aboard. So we will have new embarkation procedures to offer guests a safe start to their journey. That includes social distancing throughout embarkation, mandatory health screening, including touch-free temperature checks for all guests and crew, and luggage disinfection prior to boarding, with that disinfection being done by crew who are wearing gloves and masks. Now, obviously, as we kind of continue to evolve, these procedures may be enhanced. So this is kind of a living and breathing thought, but all the things we're going to cover today are already in place for the next time that we welcome clients aboard. Fresh air inside and out. Now, I think this is probably something you may not know will become a question until it's a question. One thing to keep in mind, because of our open air staterooms, the air in our ships is not circulated between staterooms. Only the air within an individual stateroom is mixed with fresh outside air. You know, I know there's been some confusion, there's been some concern about the air being breathed by passengers being shared amongst staterooms. With Avalon Waterways, you can rest assured that there is no air circulation amongst staterooms, and that with our open air balcony, you can double down that your clients will be getting that fresh air. All they have to do is knock that thing open. So how are we going to blend cultural proximity and this new kind of buzzword of social distance? So we've kind of taken our own stab at social distancing guidelines for guests throughout their Avalon cruise, which include reducing ship capacity as required for more space on board per guest. We're going to introduce more dining venues, so there's more dining space per guest. The crew will be wearing masks for the duration of the cruise during any guest interaction. And we will also provide masks for guests to wear during any event where social proximity could become an issue, including disembarkation for excursions and even safety drills. And because with with river cruising, there is such a heavy land experience, we will also be adjusting ratio of guests and coaches for excursions as required. So how are we going to ensure that we're reducing some of the hands-on that is concerning to clients, I guess the more touching? Well, we're going to reduce risk with more hands-free service, which will include more hand sanitizing stations throughout the ship, so even more than what we had on board today. Required use of hand sanitizing stations when leaving the ship, returning to the ship, and entering dining venues, as well as entering each public and common space. Self-serve stations, including buffets, drinks, specialty coffees, and snacks, have been replaced with cruise service. All buffets, so for breakfast and lunch, have been replaced by a full range of a la carte menu choices. And we will have at minimum hourly disinfection of all public areas. So really taking a hands-on approach, not to use kind of a pun with what we have on my screen here, of ensuring that we are reducing even a higher elevated our level of risk. Is it a requirement? No, but we want to make sure that your clients are comfortable on board. So we covered a little bit of what our cleaning procedures have been up until now, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. with constant cleaning, 2 times a day room checks. But there's even more cleaning procedures throughout each ship, which includes some additional steps that go above and beyond what we already had in place. We're going to have a deep disinfection of each stateroom between cruises, which includes a use of disinfectants and cleaning materials that meet the highest standards. I've actually heard of we may be utilizing an electro current kind of system to help with that process as well. Even the soft goods in each stateroom, so the mattress, the sofa, the window coverings, chairs, etc., will be disinfected between cruises. Disinfection of all dining areas between meals. Disinfection of all shared items like umbrellas, bicycles, and other kind of those adventure center items. Disinfection of all goods prior to loading on the ship, including luggage, like I mentioned earlier, and ongoing crew training and protective equipment use and hygiene. And of course, we've always focused on crew health, but I do think as it relates to crew health, obviously we want them to be at their best for your clients to make sure we give them the best experience possible, but we also care about them and love them as they're a part of our family, so they are important to us as well. So we're going to ensure a healthy crew, which will have a medical certificate required prior to the start of their contract. They'll undergo daily temperature checks. We're even going to have social distancing in crew living quarters and regular health screenings. One thing that personally made me pretty proud too is to even enhance the social distancing within living quarters. As you can imagine, they are relatively tight, but it's great to see that we're also taking the additional step to ensure that our crew can be healthy and practice social distancing when needed as well. So that kind of rounds out a little bit about what we're doing on board, but obviously, we have some new itineraries for 2021. So these are all open. They are all available on the brochure. You can find good details on the Travel Advisor portal. And I know you guys know where to get the detail on these. So I just want to give a quick nod to some of the new itineraries we have and let you dig in for some details in that brochure as well. We have a Taste of Egypt, which is fantastic to see that we're returning to the Nile. We have a Balkan Discovery, Magnificent Rivers of Europe, Springtime in Holland and Belgium, which is a really cool itinerary. Think a little along the tulip time kind of look and feel. Obviously, it's not a dedicated tulip time departure, but with how much interest there in this destination earlier in the year, we do now have an option there. Active and Discovery in Holland and Belgium. So for those of you that are familiar with our Active and Discovery series, this will be the 4th installment. We also have a Danube from Croatia to the Black Sea and a Danube from Germany to the Black Sea. So 7 really great new itineraries to kind of get your clients excited for what may await them in 2021. Now, I always love to talk about our short and sweet river cruises, really because I think they're often forgotten that you can river cruise in less than a week. Avalon Waterways is the only river cruise operator that has itineraries between 4 and 6 days that are not dedicated holiday departures. And I think in today's environment, these are even more important. I'm sure there are lots of you out there reading trends and kind of what consumers are thinking, and people may not want vacations that are quite as long. Maybe about a week is how comfortable they are internationally. Or with recent changes, financial concerns may be a bit higher. This collection of itineraries kind of lets you be a bit more price conscious, but it also lets your clients travel in less than a week. Or maybe they're new to river cruising, they just want a taste of it. Well, we have that for them. So remember, think of Avalon Waterways in our short and sweet portfolio when you have clients that kind of meet that criteria. And something that is incredibly important to Avalon Waterways and is something that we have continued into the 2021 selling season is our partnership with Ocean Cleanup. We really believe that it's up to us to help preserve the precious environment and really limit our footprint. So as a result, we've taken really, really great strides to improve the monitoring measurement, to reduce our environmental impact, to save water, limit waste where we can, and really foster sustainability culture among our crew and guests, and even those of us that work at Avalon Waterways. So if you don't know much about Ocean Cleanup, I encourage you to go learn a bit more about them. The technology they're using, obviously starting with oceans to keep them clean, have now moved to the rivers. So it's really cool kind of technology that that's quite effective, and we are more than happy to be a partner of theirs. And just kind of going with that sustainability message, a few things that Avalon is proud of. In the last 2 years, we've reduced our paper waste by 80%. And by the end of 2020, we will be 100% single-use plastic free. And of course, we have our new refillable water stations to help cut down on some of that single-use plastic as well. So of course, I could never, ever, ever join you guys and not make sure you have an amazing promotion to leverage with your clients when they are ready to book. Now remember, our Peace of Mind travel plan offers them that flexibility. So for this offer of a complimentary Panorama Suite upgrade, try to get them to take advantage. They have the flexibility to change, but this is an absolutely amazing offer. So for your clients that book a 2021 Europe River Cruise, they will receive a complimentary Panorama Suite upgrade on select departures. Now, I say select departures as we do with everything. This runs the gamut in terms of availability. It's an average savings of about $1,400 per person, just based on a 7-night sailing. But those of you that are savvy with river cruising out there and know we have itineraries that go north of 23 days, think of the savings that this upgrade can be for those clients that want something a bit longer. So just as a friendly reminder, I know I talked through this at the beginning of my presentation, but do not forget about our Peace of Mind travel plan. I think this is going to be a difference maker for certain clients that don't know what they're going to want to do in 2021. This affords them the flexibility to book today and make their decisions later. The flexibility is there, so just keep it in mind. When you have clients on the fence, if you think this will get them over, remind them, when you work with the Globus family of brands, and in particular Avalon, we give you the peace of mind to travel where you want, when you want, and as soon as you're ready. And just as a little special kicker for our advisor partners out there, we are running a $100 booking incentive for each new Avalon booking starting today through July 27. So as you go ahead and you make those bookings, this does require full deposit. Please do reach out to your inside sales team, and they will make sure that we get you on the books for an electronic gift card. This is a great incentive for you to hopefully close the deal on some Avalon Waterways and put a little bit of extra money in your pocket as well. So that does it for me. Before closing today and kind of opening things up to questions, I did just want to thank you all again for your time. Trust me, I understand how incredibly busy each and every one of you are. All of you are educating yourselves on different products, you're taking care of clients, and you're also trying to figure out what the new normal is for you. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope you learned something new. And if you have any questions after this webinar, if we don't get to your question, please feel free to always reach out to me at webtraining@globusfamily.com. So Anna, do we have any questions?
We do, and we'll try to get to them all. Our first one is from Dana, who is wondering how wheelchair accessibility is on Avalon, especially for power wheelchairs.
So obviously we do encourage, obviously, always to call reservations for a particular situation. Power wheelchairs can be difficult on river cruise vessels. It does not mean that they are impossible. But as opposed to always giving a blanket answer, because every single situation can be different, I do ask that you call about your particular situation or reach out to me directly, and I can do that on your behalf. But there is some flexibility with wheelchair accessibility. It's just it tends to help us have a better understanding of maybe your client's particular situation.
Okay, that makes sense. We have some people wondering about age accommodations and activity levels.
So that's the wonderful thing about Avalon Waterways. So one of the things that I didn't dive into today is in each and every port of call, your clients have an option of really 3 different types of excursion types: active, discovery, and classic. Classic is what you would think of as kind of your standard river cruise shore experience. It will take you through the major highlights of the city. It's generally either done by motor coach or walking tour. But even if it is a walking tour, we have different levels within that classic category. We also have adventure and discovery. Adventure is a little more what it sounds like, a little more up and go. Instead of taking a walking tour of Vienna, it may be a jogging tour of Vienna. Or if it's an excursion to a hilltop castle, the active option might be a hike to a hilltop castle or to a vineyard. Maybe it's a biking expedition, or excursion, excuse me. So active is definitely a little more on the go. And then we have discovery as well, which is really kind of immersive experiences, whether it's a painting class or a cooking class. So we have really something for everyone. And if you're looking for something even more active, obviously we have our active and discovery cruises, which just they're similar to our standard cruises, just have a little bit more option in terms of active and discovery onshore excursion.
Okay, great. Our next question is from Jamie, who is wondering when 2022 itineraries will be announced.
I love questions getting that far ahead. I don't have an exact date yet. We do have some availability to book out that far, but obviously that is on a call and request. So if you have a date in mind that your client is looking to book, please reach out to our inside sales team or reach out to our reservation staff, and they can help get some of those questions answered for you.
Okay, perfect. And I'm assuming the answer will be the same. Linda is wondering when you'll have 2021 scheduled for Rockies and Alaska.
For Rockies and Alaska, I'm assuming that's on our Globus product. 2021, it's funny you asked that. I'm actually doing a webinar later today, as today we have opened some of our 2021 North America content. So if you're looking for land brands, obviously we are all under one family. I encourage you guys to go on the Travel Advisor portal and you may see some information on some of that goodness.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Anita, who is wondering if you offer wine cruises.
We absolutely do. So we have a whole host of specialty cruises as well, from history to wine to beer enthusiasts to art enthusiasts. So that we do have lots of specialty sailings, or not just specialty sailings, but specialty programs. I want to say there's anywhere between 6 and 10 of them. But if you visit us on either the Avalon Waterways website, if you look at our digital e-brochure, we have an entire e-brochure dedicated to just our special interest cruises, which of course you can find that brochure on the Travel Advisor portal. Okay,
perfect. And another question from Anita, is airfare included with river cruises for 21?
So we do air-inclusive bookings. The prices you see in our brochure do not reflect air-inclusive pricing, but naturally we have some great contract air. We have 2 different types of, whether it's instant purchase air or flex air. So we are full service when it comes to that. We have in the past run free air upgrades. We have found that consumers and most of our river cruise friends have a similar offer, and it doesn't work quite as well. This value on the upgrade that I talked about today is substantial. So we can certainly help organize air, but currently we do not have any free air upgrades with our Avalon 2021 product.
Okay, got it. This question is from Elaine, who is wondering if you have facilities for kidney dialysis.
So I do know that we have made accommodations for certain medical concerns. I don't know how extreme they can go in terms of having facilities on board for for something like that. That is something I would request that you do reach out to our reservation staff, and our internal response team will give you the proper answer on that. I do know we do certain storage methods and we do help with certain conditions, but the last thing I want to do is misspeak about something as serious as that. So I do ask you guys kind of reach out just to our reservation staff for that question.
Okay, that makes sense. Our next question is from Dana, who is wondering about agent training that you have available and the benefits that are involved with that.
We have lots of training available. I keep saying Travel Advisor Portal because that's where we host most of our goodness, but we do have a program dedicated to each of our brands. And obviously we do have recorded webinars available on the Travel Advisor Portal as well. So if you just go to that portal, you'll see GFOBU listed right smack dab in the middle of the homepage, and that will send you into our training module, which again has one dedicated to Avalon, one to monograms, and one to Globus and Cosmos.
Okay, great. And would agents be able to find collateral and visuals on the portal as well?
Sure will. Man, I love these questions. You guys are a good audience. So again, if you go into that portal, we have something called the Source. The Source is really, my best description of it is a free marketing agency. We have customizable materials on there at no cost to our advisor partners. I will let you know just right now, we are not really fulfilling any sort of print, so in terms of flyers or ads, but when it comes to emails, social posts, different ideas, different kind of campaign materials for you, all of that is available for you on the Travel Advisor Portal under marketing materials.
Okay, perfect. This next question is from Vera, who is wondering if excursions are included or separate.
All excursions, so I shouldn't say all, most excursions that you see in an itinerary are included. We do offer optional excursions at cost, but we have at least 2 to 3 options in every single port for your clients to take advantage of with the cost included in their river cruise fare.
Got it. And this question is from Charles, although we have a lot of people wondering if you offer agent rates or FAMs.
So we absolutely do. Obviously, ones we had planned for this summer season, we have had to cancel quite a bit given everything going on. But I do ask guys, at least for that, because I don't have quite as much involvement with our actual FAM program. We do offer them. We do offer discounted rates. We actually have a program called Suite Rewards, which, of course, you can find information on the Travel Advisor Portal for that. But it's really reduced rates for you as an advisor that you can take advantage of. So while we do have inclusive FAM, sometimes we also do offer Suite Rewards as an opportunity for you to get on ship at an incredibly reduced rate. That is available to you in a companion, and it will sell you in a panorama suite.
Okay, perfect. And it looks like we have just a couple questions left. This one is from Dana, who is wondering if you can review your COVID cancellation policy.
So that's a loaded question. I do want to kind of point just to the Travel Advisor Portal because our policies are pretty straightforward on there. As of right now, we've had our Peace of Mind travel plan where we did cancel itineraries. We allowed people either to opt for a refund or for a letter of credit for future usage towards 2022. The Peace of Mind travel plan, if that's what she was referencing, is for new 2021 bookings moving forward. And just as a reminder, that is truly a risk-free, strings-free, hassle-free kind of program that allows your client to move. So let's say they book in Taste of the Danube for October of 2021. As long as before 30 days prior to or for before final payment, as long as they notify us that they want to move that date, they can go to any brand, any destination, anytime through the end of 2022. So it really does give clients a peace of mind that, hey, if you get to be a month out from, or let's say just 2 months out from departure and you're not comfortable yet, don't worry, we can move it out and we can kind of go from there. But again, that information is on the Travel Advisor Portal if you want to take a look at some terms and conditions as well.
Perfect. And we'll just have 2 more questions. This one's from Rosa, who is wondering if all drinks are included and if you can speak to pre and post cruise availability.
Pre and post, we have lots and lots. One of the amazing things about Avalon being a part of the Globus family is we can combo with any of our 3 sister brands. We generally do it more with Globus and monograms because the type of client that generally travels there seems to match a bit more with Avalon Waterways. But if your clients want to spend 3 nights in a city prior to disembarkation, we can do that. If they want to do a back-to-back with an Avalon Waterways itinerary and then a Globus itinerary that is completely different, we do that as well. But we do have pre and post nights for start and end cities specific to stay within the Avalon Waterways product. And could you remind me of the first part of her question?
So all drinks are included.
So we believe at Avalon we've kind of struck a little bit of a different balance. So the initial question is no, not all drinks are included. Wine with lunch and dinner is included. We can really say breakfast, lunch, and dinner because sparkling wine is available at brunch. Beer and wine, lunch and dinner are included, free pouring. No one will ever bat an eye at how much you order. It's actually almost you're sitting at dinner and I don't think your cup ever empties. We also have daily happy hours, but we do not include a free drink package. The primary reason for that is not everyone wants to drink unlimited. So our viewpoint on it is why should we charge everyone for an unlimited beverage option when in reality probably less than half of those traveling have any interest in something like that. So we definitely give lots of free alcohol away between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we do have steeply discounted drinks available throughout the rest of the day for the full bar service.
Okay, that makes sense. And our last question from Vicky is wondering about a West Coast BDM, but just in general, how do agents find their contact at Globus and at Avalon?
So again, I probably broken record at this point. We do have PDM contact lists on the Travel Advisor portal. West Coast is kind of a broad term for us because we have a few folks along the West Coast, obviously broken up a bit differently based on their territory. But if they just log into the Travel Advisor portal, it's set up so when they go to hit sales contacts, based on their login, it will show them exactly who their BDM team is.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. And those are all of our questions. So thank you so much, Corey, for all of that information, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.